Pablo Arrouays, thank you for joining me here, brother. Tell me about where you're at the moment.
Hi, Bruce. Thanks for inviting me. I'm in my hometown in Lacanau, like the west, bit south of the west coast in France.
Yeah.
So we're in the lockdown right now, so I'm there.
What's the extent of your lockdown?
So far we're supposed to be locked till the 11th of May. It's could be moved further in the time. We don't know. They gonna say the 11th if we are free to surf and do stuff or not. But we're pretty confident
lucky,
we're gonna be able to surf on
pretty
the
much
11th.
got confirmation today that there's no chance. We've been in lockdown for 34 days today, 33 days.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good, man. But are you quite surfed out from being in Hawaii?
Yes and no. Like guys like you and me, we'd never have enough, you know. but yeah, like Hawaii was pretty sick. But I haven't surfed. I come back from Hawaii something like the 20th of February. Didn't surf after that.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pity, but yeah.
Yeah. And was that your first time in Hawaii?
Yeah, first time ever. That's the kind of trip I wasn't thinking I'm gonna be able to make any day, because like I live with a really small budget. I work during the summer and do like trips to not expensive country where I live I live in really small rental, and it's not a lot to be able to travel the maximum. And Hawaii was obviously one of the most expensive place on earth for surfers and stuff. But I've been really lucky to meet my friend Kyle, who is one of the best, if it's not the best, paraplegic rider in waveski. And he went last September in my hometown to take some lesson. And the guy was so stoked, he just told me, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Hawaii, and let me help you with that, and we make something happen, and we're gonna make Hawaii happen." And it, most of the time when people say that, I'm stoked, but never believe it really. And this guy really make it happen. So yeah, first time there, pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, from the footage that came through from what you and Kyle were doing is incredible, but it also looked like you guys have such a good partnership working together. I'm sure he trained a bit under you. You do a bit of coaching there.
Yeah, that was basically the goal. Like he helped me to get there and stuff, and I was helping him to get better, and technically, obviously, and also to get the motivation and emotion to go into bigger waves and bigger surfing. And that's mainly where we achieve our goals, where in bigger surf. Hawaii was like some good point and some bad points. It's like such a big surf culture, and that you can arrive on a wave ski in the water. There is no problem about that.
Yeah.
Like most of the place on earth, you can arrive on a wave ski in the middle of the surfer, and you're gonna arrive like if you're a black guy in the middle of Lucas Clan, you know. And
I do.
And yeah, that's happened a lot in France. But basically in Hawaii, guys are watching you, and if you wait with respect and stuff, you're gonna take 2-3 waves in few hours, and you need to serve them well. If they see you make some mistake and stuff, here gonna come the bad vibes or less tolerance. But if you, obviously for my friend Kyle was paraplegic, people were amazed by his commitment and his level and stuff. And me, I was really trying to do my best to impress those guys. But I mean, it's like the best guy you have in your town is the worst guy in Hawaii. I mean, like the level is so high.
Sure.
For example, we were living in front of Sunset Beach, which is like one of the most demanding and challenging wave and lineup. I mean, I've surfed, and and when it's something like 6 to 8 foot, it's a bit crowded. And where most of the spot of the planet you could expect way less people, when it's become like 11, 15, 18 foot, it's the opposite in a way. When it starts to be 15, 18 foot, it's full.
Wow,
It's
man.
like it's more, the bigger it is, the bigger crowd too. And all the guys are with the guns, the life-saving jacket and stuff, and they're ripping, they're charging, they go inside and stuff. And I was really struggling to get some wave. That's why, in the same time, that was challenging and a really good experience to improve. In the same time, I'm like, I didn't catch enough wave in my trip.
Yeah.
Like, and it's this for most of the really famous wave, like Aliva, which is the first wave of the Triple Crown, is really demanding and full of locals. And Pipeline was on my bucket list, didn't make it because this place is scary. And it's not only scary because the wave is scary, which is the case, but if when you are in a ride, you realize, because of people talking with each other in the neighborhood and stuff, there is like something like 20 to 30 accidents per day out there, guys going to hospital, only in Pipeline. And there is 1-2 guys dying there per week. Yeah, it's insane. Like, oh, this guy
What?
just opened his school the other day. Oh, okay. Like, what the fuck? And so it's pretty intimidating. And there is the other story when, this guy went and he didn't know anyone, and after waiting only 3 hours, he take one wave, and all the locals beat him up. Like, like, oh, okay.
Jeez, bro.
So I was like, maybe I need to get some contact, so someone bring me there, and you need to wait like 2, 3, 4 hours to get one wave, and maybe that's gonna be the wave that nobody wants. So you go for the biggest crush of your life. But if you refuse it, you never go in Pipeline again.
Get out, yeah.
So you need to commit and stuff. So yeah, that's my buy point of the stuff. I didn't score any big barrels like in Indonesia or stuff, but we get some really big wave session with Kyle. I've been lucky enough to surf the spot of Waimea Bay that back in the days the world champion John Christensen, the Australian, was surfing there. He surfed Pipeline, Sunset, and Waimea in a film that you can find on. I don't think you can find it except in how did you say, like the old city? How did you say?
Okay, archives.
Yeah, and and the film was called Beyond the Limits. And that was already pretty impressive because, like, obviously the board were not as good as it get now. But Waimea is like full of people, and now there's the culture of the life jacket, and stuff. Like, a lot of people without a lot of experience go there, and I've been lucky enough.
Did you feel that like your experience was enough?
I mean, yeah, on Waimea, for example, yeah, because my experience is like big wave surfing and stuff for some, but I surf the biggest wave of my life out there not in Waimea, but in another reef called Avalanche.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was pretty demanding. But there is also this pressure of people away and watching you and stuff, which is like a little point you have to deal with. And I've been lucky to with Kyle, I didn't party for the New Year's Eve. I was okay, everybody gonna be smashed and stuff, so early in the 1st January I'm gonna be able to surf Waimea with not too much people in the water. And that was a good call. I surf with less than 10 people. Yeah. When normally it's like more than 100. So yeah, so
that's incredible.
Yeah, but yeah.
With regards to surfing pipeline, I mean, if I remember correctly, there we have seen wave skiers surf pipe before.
We did for sure. I don't mean the wave is unmakeable or stuff. There is many conditions you can have in pipeline, and it's totally makeable. Okay. The fact is, nowadays it's super packed, more than it was before. There is no days where you can wake up at 5 and be less than 10 in the water. It's out, and first light is already 30, 40 people, and 90% of them are pro surfers. So that's this, which is scary. I don't like. Now I was representing my sport, and in the same time don't want to have any trouble because it's a small island and stuff. And I think the good call was to wait and find a pro, like Jamie O'Brien or someone like this to get me in the water. Sadly, the opportunities didn't present, so I will need to go back there for sure.
Sure. What I've seen from Jamie is he can get barreled on a kayak, so it can't be too hard for him to sit down.
No, there is many options to surf wave like pipeline. It's like, but it's just about like, don't be rushed by all the people in the water. Be on the good place, and don't be scared about dropping someone or that 3 guys drop on you. Like, if you come with a local, it's going to be totally different. But that wasn't the case for me, so I was like, I don't feel it.
Yeah, I think even waves like Super Tubes back in South Africa here, it's world class. Like you say, you have a lot of pros, but we have quite a radical localism going on, and we just have to always be aware of that. And I think, like, I would love to also surf supers more. I've done it once, but just because of the factor of dealing with guys who are maybe aggressive to us, you'd rather not push that and have some waves somewhere else. I don't know if that's the answer though.
That's part of the problem. Like in pipeline, the other problem is, even if everybody is cool with you, like you are in the lineup, you wait 3 hours to be on the peak, and you are shoulder to shoulder with surfers. Then if there is a big set coming, the duck dive still doesn't exist on a wave ski. So you be the only one to get totally smashed. And I don't want to take any chance to be the one who would drown or to get rescued by the guys. If I go there, I want to be sure, okay, I get my waves, even if I get smashed, but I want to stay alive and get my wave. Not stay there 6 hours and don't touch any wave and take 2 or swipe out of my life. That was not the goal. So yeah, pipeline was this, but there was many other wave challenging, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool aspect though with you, and your whole approach really shows the respect that, like, this isn't you just coming here to surf waves for yourself, but I really truly believe that you are representing the entire waveski family out there, and to be like, that whole idea of us coming here to take as many waves as we can does not exist. We're here to surf with you and share the waves. So I think, thank you for that.
That's I would love to be foolish enough to say, oh, I can do whatever I want. Nobody gonna say to the next guy on a kayak, hey, you're on a kayak, you're a bad motherfucker that like the last one. No, they will. So I mean, it's just because we have a paddle, sometimes it's not even a wave ski. In my hometown, I kind of run the kayak and wave ski school out there, and for example, the beach is like something like 15 kilometers long, and I'm walking only on the south part. Sometimes there is like guys coming with a slalom or rodeo kayak on the north part, and obviously don't know nothing about the ocean, and maybe eventually drop someone or be naughty with a surf school or whatever.
Sure.
And I get some complaint of those guys of the surf school and come to me and say, oh, there is a guy who is a paddle, and you should be aware that they don't do that. I'm like this is nothing to do with me. Nothing.
No.
Like when someone drop on me on a surfboard, I'm not like going to the surf school and say, this is your fault. But for the surfers, it's like still, yeah, like stereotypes work really well in surf and surf in general. I mean, all sports of surfing are a good and a bad reflection of what is life. So yeah, we need to. I think we need to be aware of that and take care of the kind of etiquette we can have as a discipline of surf.
Yeah, that's something that I found here is like you kind of got to always just err on the side of caution. You always got to just be a little bit more conscientious, a little bit more aware of other people around you. But as soon as I paddle out on my surfboard, none of that expectation exists. But I think with your kind of progression and the way you surf, it must be quite easy for you to get respect. I mean, we've seen crazy shit.
Yeah, but that's cool. Obviously, it's easier when you put a big move in front of a surfer or just spray a ton of water in his face. But if that shouldn't be the case. You should not have to rip the wave to be respect. Yeah. Like you should just have respect if you respect the others. So that's a good part. Obviously, that's easier sometimes. Like I've been making some trips where in Indonesia, for example, I was with only board surfers, and they were really struggling to get any respect from the locals Indonesian guys. They were getting dropped and stuff. And me on the wave skis, they were so amazed, like, what is this sport? We've never seen this before. And they were inviting me to the peak and say, oh, come, take this wave, we want to see. And and each time
I think they just wanted to see you get hammered.
Possibly. I take the chance too. Like, and sometimes they do. So
awesome, man. But that thing you did in Hawaii, you and Virgil were going head to head with landing, like I want to say like a variation of an alley-oop.
It's basically a variation of the alley-oop. Yeah. Alley-oop is one of the hardest move you can get on a wave ski, and we've been walking a lot. I've been walking a lot on some variation like this, and Virgil is obviously in my eyes like the guys with the most talented ever in competition and on a wave ski with few others, and it's been years I tell him like, bro, try some alley-oops, try some reverse, because it was less new school than Cyril Sanson or Clement or me, for example. Yeah. And obviously that's too easy for him. Like when he started to train on that, he succeed. So so yeah, that was battling of doing reverse and trying stuff like this. But there is like a big possibility of move still on a wave ski. Like it's just about the speed. Like if we get the speed on the good wave, we can go for backflips. I'm sure we can go from big inverted roller. We can. I'm trying a lot to make some grabs on the rail now and stuff like this. So it's like we never know. But yeah that was pretty fun, because Virgil is definitely one of my best friend and my best enemy too in competition and stuff. And we really push ourselves each time we're making a session, so that's pretty cool.
Bro, Virgil for me, seeing him compete in Spain and then again in Ventura, he is probably, in terms of progression and acrobatics, and in terms of competitive just like hardness, there's no one that can really touch him. If you look at that final between him and Reese,
Reese can touch him.
Reese came out and just blasted just air off the air, and Virgil was just left there kind of trying to come up with something. And when he did, man, he answered back so hard, just obviously not enough, but he is bringing it to the floor where he's doing stuff like the alley-oop and then coming second in world champs. I mean, that progression and that contest winning, we don't normally see. And it's, we need to watch him, and because he's going to be blowing up at the contests. He is.
Sure.
So it must be really cool.
I'd be there to try to stop him, but for sure is really dangerous. And and Virgil, for example, is like way more dangerous on a left-hander than on a right. Honestly, if we remake the same rematch, Reese again, Virgil on the left, it will be 50-50. And but that was obvious. Like Reese on the right-hander is like it's still one of the four legends, like John Christensen, Nicky Carsten, Matthew Babarich, Reese Duncan, and Reese is still 44 and top of his game is kind of the Kelly Slater of our sport. So that's what's pretty cool to see him win too.
Yeah, he mustn't retire, or he can retire and come back and retire and come back like the Kelly Slater. But it'd be good to see him competing again at the next World Champs. But back to just your Virgil and your relationship, I think that is something that is pretty unique and is the reason why you guys have pushed each other so far. So while I'm saying amazing stuff about Virgil and his contest surfing, that is because he rides with you nearly every time and trains with you. And that is excellent progression we're seeing from that.
We try like we have some pros and some cons. I mean I think I always been more analytic about my videos and watching the stuff and try to make them like segment by segment and understand them. When Virgil was just like, oh, I did this, and for now it starts like something I think in South Africa in 2014, especially now in Reef, your spot, we were analyzing the video of Virgil, and I was saying, okay, look, every cutback you make, Virgil, you have like one paddle stroke at the end of your first turn before you make the roundhouse, which is totally useless. And we watched all the video before, and he used to do this on every of this cutback. So sometimes I was like, okay, giving him a tips for try to get his style smoother, and he was like, okay, on your reverse, I don't do them yet, but maybe you should try to make and we always like give little tips to each other, and always like kind of battling, and it really starts strong in 2011, where we were both juniors. And that was the second world title for Virgil. I mean, the second world championship for Virgil. He went in Australia and won the junior world title. And that was the first one for me. Oh. So both of us were like, okay, we can make a great result in junior, but we're never going to break down the top 10 in open. And we end up like being... me, I was world champion in junior, and Virgil was second, and Virgil won the open, and I was second in open, and that was crazy. When we sit down in the water just before the horn of the final in open, we're like, bro, what are we doing here? We are like just two junior guys in the final and we just by chance beat the guy we've been always watching on video. That's insane. We want to do that again, and we make the final in 2016, same spot. So that was funny. Same results, sadly, but
I don't think that's. I think it's by chance that you beat these guys. I mean, you work hard. As much as I think talent maybe plays a role, you guys are seriously hard workers. You put in the time to understand like the surf you're surfing and the boards you're riding. You telling me that boards need to go faster, and I just had a chat with Ant the other day, and he says boards have to go faster. So we realize that, I mean, you guys are working so hard at progressing the sport and literally taking it to new heights, and we get stuff, and we get the benefit, we being us at home get the benefit of sitting down and watching Take a Seat. I mean, I remember when that premiered, when we were in Spain, I was getting constant goosebumps the entire time. How was that trip?
That's the goal. Yeah, that trip was pretty special. We've been like thinking a bit about a trip like that for 4 years, and eventually like the crew try to think about the idea to get some fund to make it professional, not just going with friends and film stuff. And we're like, okay, we're gonna make a bit of land filming, then we need to make a boat trip in Mentawai and get minimum two professional filmer. I mean, after I make the edit, because we didn't have the money to make a professional make it, but yeah, that was pretty special. Like we have really good wave, and at the end it was like even more the scenery and the view were unique. Like obviously there was a lot of move we knew we were able to make and stuff that we filmed really well and better than used to be filmed. But it was more the view, the underwater view, the drone and stuff. We are adding like the little plus of this film, and also the fact that we want to tell a story and explain what is waveski, why we love the sport and stuff like this. So it was a mix between like an interview about the sport and an action movie in the same time. So we're really happy about the concept, and that's cool, because we've been speaking about the title of the film for a long time, and me, I was like keeping my mouth shut because I have a name for the film, but I will tell you the name only if we are sure we have the professional cameraman and we can make a huge edit, because I started to think about this name when I was like something like 14, 15. Take a Seat was like, oh, that's a good one. You just sit down like a whiskey and take and watch the film.
Bro.
And yeah,
I feel that so much.
So yeah, we're pretty happy about the results. Like the goal was to make big stuff in our community, waveski. I think that's been achieved. And in the same time, like we have lack of monetization in surf industry and kayak. So we're gonna keep on going. We are at the moment thinking about Take a Seat 2, and that's.
I think I have an idea where Take a Seat 2 goes on, but I won't share anything here. We'll let you go on with that. But yeah, of course, I will never share a thing. But it's exciting, bro. And I think like with Take a Seat, it was like action movie is such a good description. You had these beautiful waves and you had big wipeouts. Oceane getting sucked over the falls. Epic. Some close calls, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the closest call, there was some really big wipeout. I'm pretty lucky I didn't take any big wipeout. But I think the worst one was Oceane, and not the one you see in video, another one on the last part of the film, a wave where Virgil hits some really big ramps, and I tried to hit the invert with a grab. Yeah. This wave was called A-frame. It's in the northern upper part of the Mentawai. And Oceane basically make a big airdrop, and during the airdrop she's like screaming, and so all the air go out and she gets total slam, and I was the only one in the channel, and the guys were paddling at the back already, and she stays something like 3 waves upside down, not moving. So and that was kind of slabby, so I've been trying to reach her, and at the moment where I reached her, she was already drifting upside down in the lagoon. And and I was okay. She passed out, and I gonna need to start the CRC, like the
CPR,
and the CPR, and at the moment where I touched the ski, she rolled back. Like basically, Oceane back in the time, I have the biggest wrestle of the group, and she just twist the paddle one arm, and she was unable to roll, and she rolled like I think everything was going fast, but I think she stayed something like 45 seconds underwater, which is long.
Yeah.
But
that's like 3 minutes on land.
Yeah, definitely. So so far I touched wood, like we didn't have any big problem. Like when we surf lenses, right? Like Cyril, I start to surf alone there because it was a big surf crowd, and the guy were not convinced. After I take a few waves, Cyril joined me, and first wave take a wipeout and open his skull there.
Oh man.
And basically just put some duct tape there and the helmet and went back in the water.
Real Cyril Simpson.
Yeah, is for me is the best free rider in my eyes.
Yeah.
He is the one who put like the most nil flip on one session or whatever. Is like, and he is so stylish. So like, yeah, definitely my two favorite rider are Cyril and Virgil, but obviously don't tell Virgil.
But you guys also, as much as you push each other, you got your young guns coming through. Even I saw that when we were in Spain, seeing your young guns together. The Raging Shrimps are like the best thing. You're doing some good things there.
Yeah, definitely. Like they all grown up. Like the Raging Shrimps are becoming the Raging Gambas now, and yes, like it's not a huge crew, but it's like a really committee crew, and like the typical stereotype of the surfer kids, and the club in Lacanau has been like this, and they love waveski, and obviously they love the ambience and the vibes around the contest of waveski, and how they bring the stuff, like. And the fact we have like more girls than guys on these young girls is pretty cool, pretty cool for the sport, and they're all really motivated. Like the last crazy one I've seen was like one of the smallest one is the girl called Capucine Renolo. She participated like the others to the European Championship in middle of France, and just take a huge wipeout because she need one wave in the last 30 seconds of it, and she take the big one. It was totally a closeout, and she tried to put in the barrel. She's like 13.
Amazing.
And on one of my old waveski, and she dislocated her shoulder totally. And when she get back on the shore with the shoulder totally dislocated like this, she was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I heard my shoulder do like this, so I was maybe I'm gonna re-put in the same place. So I catch my waveski and put my arm like this. So she relocates her shoulder herself in the water. At 13, she went to the hospital and she was okay and stuff. She was like, "Oh, I can't wait to go back on the waveski." I was like, "What?"
No.
So I have many examples like this. Those kids are crazy, and I really hope, like in few years, they are already the future of the sport. But we know it's tricky to get kids, but the hardest it's to keep them into the sport with life expectancy, with studies, with stuff like this. But yeah, I think I have a pretty good crew, and they're pretty stoked to participate to Peru next year. Pretty sad in the same time it was canceled this year because of the COVID situation and stuff. But they've been working 1 year in a row to find some fun. They've been selling chocolates, making concert, making a lottery. We've been making a lot of different stuff to make this happen. So they will be there for sure.
I think what I'll do is drop a link to support these young guns in
That's really cool.
description.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can
Yeah.
get there, because I mean,
Awesome.
yeah, they're the future, and to see these
Yeah.
tough little kids ripping. I mean, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
one of your kids, but in Spain, during one of the junior cadet finals, one of the kids were on that rock. They got washed up and dry docked on that big little island. I mean, it was gnarly out there.
This one is half French, half American. It's called Victor, and
Victor, yeah.
Victor is been 2 or 3 years. He come in my club in the summer with his father and train with the other kids. So yeah, and he's come from kayaking, sea kayaking, and river kayaking. So that's why he's not afraid about the rocks at all.
Yeah, I was afraid, man. I remember paddling out next to that rock thinking, this thing could end ugly, and it ended ugly for a couple of them. But what experience for them.
Definitely.
And you, I think you, if I remember correctly, you gave up your spot in the French first team tag team to be able to concentrate on the kids, eh?
Yeah, no, I wasn't part of the French team. I did participate of the tag team at the end, was pretty much different. But no, it's been 2 years like I don't participate to the French team, so I can focus on the kids. Yeah.
That's cool, man. And we're really looking forward to seeing
that's cool because they in the same time they are I'm the coach of the kids, but they're coaching me too, like, and that was a pretty good motivation to win a world title there. So that's pretty cool.
Bro, it was beautiful to watch those kids running to you on the beach, the respect that they have for you, and well done, man. Once again, just leading the sport, not just progression, but at the young guns and the groms. So it's kiff, bro.
That's cool. Yeah. I would love to talk also about like adaptive waveski.
Yeah, I mean, because you've been working with Kyle, and that photo of Kyle was next level. We've never seen something like that.
Never, but before that, I was working also with Eric. Eric was from my club, and we coached him, and now he's world champion. So hell yeah, Kyle one day gonna smash them.
Yeah, shout out to Eric though. He's my travel partner, and I really enjoy traveling with Eric, and such a gentleman. Cool, and the nice thing about staying and traveling with the French, or with any French person, is that they're pretty direct, and so you know exactly if you need to wash dishes or if you just need to get out the house, you know.
Yeah, that's simple. And coming back to Kyle, like, I need to tell you the story of this session. The fact that Kyle is probably the only guy to focus so much on big wave surfing. He surfs a lot of big wave in Oregon, in his hometown and stuff. He's also really good pal with Fletcher Burton, which is one of the legends of the sport, who is one of the only owners of a jet ski, so they can sometimes walk in towing and stuff. And basically, Kyle is something like an hyperactive. When he arrived to Hawaii, it was like thousands of ideas and stuff, and it was hard to follow him, even if he was in a wheelchair. It was like, bro, slow down. And he's like speaking to me like if I was like totally fluent in American and stuff, but it was like so fast. And he was like, okay, we're gonna meet this guy, and he's gonna tell us, and it's gonna be great and stuff. And I was okay, let's meet this guy. And in fact, I didn't listen everything, but when we went in front of this guy was called Derek Donner, and he is one of the guys who surf in the film Riding Giants, and is the main partner of Laird Hamilton in all the jet ski film. He with Laird pretty much invented towing surfing, and he's one of the biggest legends in Hawaii. So we realized that, and the guy just say he was able to tow us on a big day if we train stuff.
Yeah.
So to make long story short, we end up being one day on a big swell. He call us. He'd say, okay, the call is tomorrow. see you at the port, and we find someone to film with really good quality with another other jet ski. Obviously, everything of that have costs, so that's we we went into a lot of cost decision to make this happen, but that was something I think we cannot miss for the sport.
Yeah.
And when we arrived at like the last wave ski, Ant made me was really strong wave ski, especially for Hawaii. And I did add a little difference. I added a box to make some weights, so that became a tow board.
Yeah.
And I also bring my gun just if it was smaller, and it wasn't smaller. And the guy, Derek Donner, which is like legendary speaking, is like this always, and he just tell me, okay, it's big, but it's not that big today. I'm gonna tell Kyle, Pablo, I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna paddle there. And obviously, I was like, no way I paddle there. But if you say, I'm gonna go, because I cannot like say, oh no.
Yeah. No,
so
you can't.
no, I can't. So basically, we went there, and Kyle, I was sitting in a channel and tried to find my position, and the guy was helped me to be placed and stuff. And Kyle was starting to be towed on some of the small sets. We are already like 12, 15, 18 foot, something like this. And yeah, like that was this normally like 12 to 18 foot small sets, and the big set where something like, what is 8 meters?
8 meters. Oh, I don't know. We work in feet with
Yeah,
comes to
20. I guess I don't know, 20,
21,
25.
23. Yeah.
Yeah, 20, 25 feet on some big one. And basically, like, that was middle of the ocean. That was an outer reef. Nobody was surfing there.
No way.
So I didn't have any point of reference to where to sit, except the fact that a few meters away was a buoy where I was like, okay, if it's moving like this, it's a big set. If it's moving like this, it's a huge set. And that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
After a few minutes, Kyle with the towing, it's pretty different story. Like, you don't take so much risk of being sat in the bad place. So he was getting wave after wave, and that was pretty impressive already. And you can tell the guy was trained on be tow on a jet ski. I never been tow on a jet ski before, and basically the first wave I caught was a huge one, and I take 2, 3, 4 waves like this, really huge, like I will say like something like 18 to 20 footers easily with the gun. But the gun end made me like really feeling great on the waves, so I was able to make some turns ever and stuff. And basically, like when I went back out, Kyle just take waves. They were like the lineup was 1 kilometer long, so we were really far from each other. And I just saw something like a big fins coming out of the water. When I say big fins, I'm pretty sure it was like something like 12-footer tiger shark.
Oh.
I recognize the kind of fins. I was like, oh, don't move, like I was really pretty fried. And at the same time, like I was still in the middle of the lineup, and that was huge. And the guy, Derek Donner, come back and say, oh, I'm not even sure it's a shark. If it's a big shark, if there's a problem, we take you out. Don't care about that. And I was totally non-trusting him, but whatever. I decide to focus on the wave, and obviously don't put my feet in the water. but that was a little more stuff to mind about, so that was pretty scary. And and basically a big set arrived, bigger than the other one, and I was seeing the boy doing like this, really
Going
strong,
crazy.
and I start to paddle my ass off, and normally I was exactly where the waves start to break, and when I passed the first wave of the set, behind, the wave was already breaking for 200 meters, and that was already huge, and I paddled so hard, I screaming
Giving me
to myself.
anxiety, yeah.
I was screaming to myself, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna make it, and eventually end up like in the pocket, where in a place where I was like, if I try to go over, maybe the lead grab me, but if I try to catch it, maybe I can make an airdrop and make it. Turn around and make the airdrop in the pocket and just make the wave, made it. But I honestly think this one was something like a 25 footers. I don't know, something like this. And after that, like, the guy decided to tow me on some smaller one, and obviously that was feeling really easier. And when Kyle grabbed back the rope after that, the biggest set of the day come, and it was like something like a 30 footers, and the guy just placed Kyle in the exact perfect place, and just he make the wave almost to the end. He get hit by the foam at the end when it was like only an 18 footers, and it was totally a make for me, and that was really impressive from the shore. Like that was easily, if it's not definitely the biggest wave ever ride by an adaptive surfer, paraplegic or amputee or whatever. I think this guy deserved to be in the Guinness Book, and I don't understand why it's not the case yet, but and possibly also one of, if it's not the biggest wave ever ride on a waveski, and but it just opened up the horizon that we can go way bigger, because that was not feeling safe, but that was feeling like, okay, we can handle this. We train enough, and we have the security to do it, and the technique also. So now we're working on the boards, we're working on the training and stuff, and there is many stuff to do.
Do you have a goal wave that you want to surf that is huge, or not?
Yeah. There is this wave in France. It's an outside reef, like something like 3 kilometers from the shore, called Bellara. Pretty famous wave. It's used to be the biggest wave in Europe before they talk about Nazaré, and it's starting to break when it's like more than 8 meters till 15 to 18 meters, something like this. So it's a big fat wall, so I think it's makeable. And obviously, even if it's one of the most scary lineup I ever seen, I've been lucky enough to be there in Nazaré last winter. I surfed Nazaré on the small 12 footers. That was already really impressive, and I think we can make some of the waves there. If you're lucky enough to be towing the good one, you can obviously surf the biggest wave ever. And I think we are on a point where it's only about getting a team ready, and it's sadly depending on the budget now, which we don't have. But if you find a sponsor or find a team who are like, oh, waveski is cool, we would love to see a guy tow on a big wave like this, I think we are 2 or 3 guys who will be up to do this. So yeah, I think I definitely gonna dedicate like the few last year I have, like when I'm feeling strong enough to do it, and try to break a record and have fun in the same time in the process. But that's scary.
that is scary, because I we've all seen that photo of Kyle, and Is that wave that you spoke about? Is that the one that was photographed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Is what?
Is that the wave that he photographed? That last wave of Kyle's?
Oh yeah, the big wave of Kyle is the one. Yeah.
No,
But
incredible.
obviously we have some footage of this, and it's really hard to edit because it's really high quality, and we don't have like the money to pay someone. So it's gonna take a lot of time to see it, but we will. And I think it's gonna be pretty decent.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe there's someone listening who's a very good editor and is enjoying lockdown and they want a project, they must get in touch with you, because that is footage that has never been seen before.
That's never been seen before, for sure. Never. And it's only the beginning. Like, we make one session with this guy, but if we have like the budget and the time to do this, like, we could go so much bigger. Like Kyle could break his record for sure, and I'm pretty sure we could make some turns on some big waves.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I think it's just a matter of time and commitment and investment also. But
like
it's makeable.
You said, it's a team. It's a teamwork. So getting your jet ski rider, getting your surfer, getting your shaper all on board. I mean, you can't just paddle out there what you surf your beach breaks on.
No. And even like it's the fact that you need to buy a gun, you need to buy the leash, the life jacket, all the stuff, have cost, and it's like, and sometimes we don't realize, like, some of the surfers or bodyboarders who commit a lot into big wave surfing, it's a different world. In Hawaii, it's such a culture of big wave surfing. Like, everyone is surfing big. Like obviously one of the biggest wave I've surfed before was a wave in France. The right hander was like, I don't know, 6, maybe 6, 7 meters. And when I showed a photo to some Iwan guys, they were like, "Oh, that's cute."
You paddled out in that small surf?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's obviously there is different scale, and waveski is late, but waveski is obviously less appropriate to do in big surf. Like, that's way more scary and way more dangerous. Like, you can obviously break your back at any mistake. Like, you can get torque on your belt, or you can take. I broke my teeth here many times because of the paddle. Like, it could end up really bad. We lucky we never heard, because we're such a small community, we never heard about a waveski guy dying while doing his stuff on an accident. But
it felt awfully close.
it's cool close. Like when you surf like a shallow reef, like you could easily end up like a cheese grater. You know?
Easily.
So yeah, that's tricky.
We have a wave very close by. I've been photographing for a number of years, discovered by bodyboarders, and stand-up guys have been on it now maybe 6-7 years, maybe a bit more. And all my mates just say, "Come, Bruce, bring that goat boat, get barreled." But the problem is, when you're surfing in like 2-3 feet of water and you're upside down, it's impossible. There's only one result that will come out of that, and that's being a cheese grater that you've said.
Yeah, but I will say go for it.
Yeah, so you need to come and visit, and we'll definitely go there. I'll film you, bro.
Cool.
But cool. Pablo, what's your next couple of months looking like? Are you on any projects? Any trips looking like?
All the crisis is like taking our vision of our job and our travel really uncertain. So I'm supposed to start working in 2 days. That's not going to be the case because of the lockdown. So I'm gonna lose a few months of work. So maybe I'm gonna lose a few months of travel. I don't really know. I know I'm gonna obviously surf a lot in my hometown. train the kids, and my job is pretty much to make discover wave ski and canoe and kayak to tourists and people from the region. So that's going to be my work for the next few months. Then yeah, we are on many projects, maybe starting this year take a seat too, maybe not. And but yeah, and obviously be involved into some big wave surfing next winter. I'm gonna order a new gun with Max Ski.
Oh,
And
wow.
And I got now a young guy called Florent Hirondegui, with got some really big balls, so he gonna come and join me. And now we are two guys with a gun. We're gonna be able to push each other and try to get some stuff of big wave. That will be cool.
Sure.
Like I think that's the two things missing in Take a Seat are big barrels, big wave.
Yeah, big waves.
And yeah, we're gonna try to get that done.
Awesome, bro. Well, listen, take it easy and be safe with those projects, because I'd love to follow up more with you. And during this COVID crisis, just be safe. And yeah, it's a weird time. It's a very strange time, I must say. But
yeah, you're right.
Nice. Nice. I have to feel like I have to go wash my hands now.
Yeah, sure.
Brother, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And
yeah, thanks to you.
Look forward to catching up more.
See you, bud. Thanks so much.
Cheers, bud.